Born July 3rd, 1962, Tom Cruise is an American actor and producer. He has received several accolades for his work, including 3 Golden Globe Awards and nominations for 3 Academy Awards. Cruise is one of the best paid actors in the world, and his films have earned over several $billion in North America alone. He is one of the highest grossing actors of all time. Cruise began acting in the early 1980s and made his breakthrough with leading roles in the comedy Risky Business in 1983 and the action drama Top Gun in 1986. As a leading Hollywood star in the 1990s, Cruise starred in several commercially successful films, including A Few Good Men, The Firm, Interview with the Vampire, and Jerry Maguire. Cruise also has the hugely successful Mission Impossible franchise behind him, which started all the way back in 1996 and continues to this very day. So kick back and relax as we count down Tom Cruise's top 10 movies. And coming in at number 10, we've got the classic Rainman. Now, this film came out all the way back in 1988. It stars Tom Cruise as Charlie Babbitt, a man who discovers that his estranged father has died and left all of his multi-million-dollar estate to his other son, Raymond, played by Dustin Hoffman, an autistic man who Charlie Babbitt did not know even existed. With strong performances by both Cruise and Hoffman in this movie, Rainman was the highest grossing movie of 1988. It won 4 Oscars and a Best Actor in a Leading Role for Hoffman. And coming in at number 9, it's 1996's Jerry Maguire. A good cast here with Tom Cruise playing the role of Jerry Maguire. You got Cuba Gooding Jr. and Renee Zellweger in there as well. It's a romantic comedy drama sports film written, produced, and directed by Cameron Crowe. The film was a financial success, bringing in more than $273 million worldwide against its $50 million budget, and was nominated for 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor for Tom Cruise, with Cuba Gooding Jr. winning the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. The film was also nominated for 3 Golden Globes, with Tom Cruise winning for Best Actor. And next up, it's Tom Cruise starring in the action thriller Jack Reacher. This film was directed by Mission Impossible Fallout's Christopher McQuarrie and based on Lee Child's 2005 novel One Shot. The film performed well at the box office, grossing over $200 million. It is the first installment in the Jack Reacher film series and performed well at the box office, grossing over $200 million. The film also features Tom Cruise performing all of his own driving stunts during the film's car chase sequence. The law has limits. He does not. It's Tom Cruise and Jack Reacher. And next up, it's Edge of Tomorrow. And next up, it's Edge of Tomorrow. And next up, it's Edge of Tomorrow. If you've seen the movie, you get the joke there. Tom Cruise plays the role of William Cage, and in this film he finds himself in a time loop that sends him back to the day preceding the battle every time he dies. And it can be quite a trip watching this movie as the same events just replay over and over again. The film takes place in a future where most of Europe is invaded by an alien race. William Cage, a public relations officer with no combat experience, is forced by his superiors to join a landing operation against the aliens. Cage teams up with Emily Blunt's character, who is a special forces warrior, to improve his fighting skills through the repeated days, while looking for a way to defeat the extraterrestrial invaders. Live, die, repeat. It's Edge of Tomorrow. And coming in at number 6, it's 2010's Night and Day. This was the second on-screen collaboration of Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz following the 2001 film Vanilla Sky. Diaz plays June Havens, a classic car restorer who unwittingly gets caught up with the eccentric secret agent Roy Miller, played by Cruise, who is on the run from the CIA. Now, the critics may have come out with a mixed response to this movie, but I thought it was pretty good, with a lot of fun and good action going on in this one. It's Night and Day. And in at number 5, it is 1986's Top Gun. A great cast in this movie with Kelly McGillis, Val Kilmer, and Anthony Edwards, with Tom Cruise playing the role of Maverick, a young naval aviator aboard the aircraft carrier USS Enterprise. The film did very well at the box office, grossing over $350 million, and also won an Academy Award for Best Original Song for Take My Breath Away, performed by Berlin. And a sequel titled Top Gun Maverick is scheduled for release in 2020. And next up, it is the action drama The Last Samurai. Tom Cruise portrays a United States captain of the 7th Cavalry Regiment whose personal and emotional conflicts bring him into contact with samurai warriors in the wake of a revolution in 19th century Japan. The Last Samurai grossed a total of $456 million at the box office and was well received upon its release, receiving praise for the acting, writing, directing, score, visuals, and costumes. It was nominated for several awards, including 4 Academy Awards and 3 Golden Globes. And coming in at number 3, it's not a crime if you're doing it for the good guys. It's Tom Cruise starring in the 2017 film American Made, which is a true story inspired by the life of Barry Seal, a former TWA pilot who flew missions for the CIA and became a drug smuggler for the Medellin cartel in the 1980s. In order to avoid jail time, Seal became an informant for the DEA. Now, I wasn't quite sure what to expect going into this movie. I didn't really know anything of the backstory to this, and I wasn't too sure if we were just going to get a so-so movie here, but to my surprise it was really good, and it was based on a true story. Tom Cruise, a very strong performance here, and the same can be said of his supporting cast as well. As I say, it's a movie based on real-life events, so it makes it all that more compelling to watch. Check it out, it's American Made. And in at number 2, it is the 5th installment in the Mission Impossible series. It is Rogue Nation. Now, I wasn't so sure of this movie just after the first watch, but after watching it multiple times, it became pretty damn clear that this movie is pretty damn cool. You got Jeremy Renner, Simon Pegg, and Ving Rhames returning from the previous Mission Impossible installments, and you've also got a newcomer to the franchise here who also starred in the sequel to this movie, Fallout, and that's Rebecca Ferguson, and she is really awesome in this movie. And her and Tom Cruise are really great together on screen here. You got Sean Harris, he stars as the bad guy Solomon Lane, a former MI6 agent who went rogue and became the leader of the syndicate. And the IMF team have got to take him down. So many awesome action sequences in this movie. For example, when Tom Cruise has to go underwater and hold his breath for several minutes, which he actually had to do in real life, by the way. And the awesome motorbike scenes with Tom Cruise traveling at breakneck speeds. Great cinematography in that motorbike sequence. It's just frantic. So all the Mission Impossible movies up to this date were more or less standalone movies, but this was the first one that actually spawned a sequel, Mission Impossible Fallout. So it's part 1 of 2, and the film also went on to gross almost $700 million at the box office, and this warranted, I say. It's a real good movie. It's an intelligent movie filled with intrigue and awesome over-the-top action, and there's a real funny part in this movie too where Ethan and Benji are reversing this car out into midair at like 100 miles an hour and they crash. Ethan gets up, but Benji stays there saying nothing, then all of a sudden he wakes up. It may not sound very funny here, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. It's hilarious. It's an awesome movie. It's Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. And my number 1 movie from Tom Cruise, and my favorite Mission Impossible movie in the franchise, it's Mission Impossible 3. Now, why do I put this one ahead of all the other great Mission Impossible movies? Well, for me, it was just straight out action. It was a pretty simple plot. Basically, in this one, Ethan Hunt has retired from field work for the IMF. He instead trains new recruits while settling down with his fiancée, Julia Meade, a nurse who is still unaware of Ethan's true job. He is approached by fellow IMF agent John Musgrave about a mission to rescue one of Ethan's proteges, a student he had taught, Lindsay Ferris, who is played by Kerry Russell. Lindsay was captured while investigating arms dealer Owen Davian, who is played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, who put on a really great performance as the bad guy in this movie. And there are some real intense scenes between Hoffman and Cruise, notably when they're up in the airplane and Ethan Hunt is trying to get information from Owen Davian. Hunt, in his anger at losing his friend Lindsay, almost throws Davian out of the airplane. Just watch that scene, it's really intense. And as I say in this movie, Philip Seymour Hoffman, who passed away in 2014, he put on such a great performance as the bad guy. He's direct, he's to the point, plays such a great villain in this movie to Ethan Hunt. Some great big-time action sequences in this movie. A movie that did very well at the box office, grossing almost $400 million. As far as I'm concerned, it's everything you'd want in a Mission Impossible movie. Non-stop action, great mystery and intrigue, and a movie that keeps you guessing right up to the very end. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe you have some of your own movies you'd like to add to the list. Let us know in the comments below. We'll catch you on the next video.